In this video, I sit down with Emily Concannon of Emily Embarks. Emily started and grew an incredibly successful travel itinerary planning business, and she's here today to show you how you could do the same.
My name is Emily Concannon. I'm a full-time travel blogger. Back in 2021, I got the sense that the 9 to 5 job wasn't really for me. It definitely wasn't something I was going to do forever. So I decided to put my notice and really dive headfirst into what was only then a hobby, which was travel blogging. I joined a wonderful course called Scale Your Travel Blog to Six Figures. 6 to 8 months later, I was doing well. I was starting to see traffic coming to my blog, but I was nowhere near being able to join an ad network, and I hadn't quite gotten the hang of affiliate marketing yet. So I started thinking about what I could offer my readers. These were all travelers coming from all over the world. They were all really interested in my itineraries. They loved backpacking trips. They loved the ideas of going on adventures. So I decided I would help them with planning their itineraries. A little while into that, I realized I was getting dozens of emails a day from these readers saying, "Can you help me with this? I'm trying to meet up with my son in Portugal. I'm trying to do XYZ." And so I decided to create what I called custom itinerary services. I created packages to go with them. So depending on how much help the client needed, I really helped with everything from flight to accommodations to trip efficiency and making sure people were staying in budget. And I really liked focusing on honeymoons. It was something that people really enjoyed and loved having help with because they were already so busy with planning their wedding. So custom itinerary services became a big part of my blog in the earlier months and years before it became successful. And it became a major part of what Emily Embarks is today. Depending on your target audience, the numbers that you earn can definitely vary. But I would say, on average, from itinerary planning in the spring to summer months, when people are really planning their trips, I was earning between $8,000 and $12,000 a month. Some months are definitely better than others. Months surrounding the holidays, November through January, being pretty slow. People are already traveling. They're with family. They're with friends. They're really not spending as much time looking online for travel deals as much, unless it's Black Friday. That's really the only exception. But the best time is between March and June. This is when people are planning their trips for the whole summer, for the fall, for the winter, for those holidays when people will be traveling. Spring was definitely the best converting months for me. No, so I am not a travel agent. The biggest difference between travel planners and travel agents is the booking process. Travel planners help with the beginning stages, the planning stages. They're going to help you plan itineraries and do all of the travel research that you would need to go on a fantastic trip. Whereas a travel agent is going to be with you every step of the way through the booking process and also while you're on the trip. The big difference between those is most travel agents work with an agency who provide liability insurance. But if you were just a normal person like me and you want to just help and provide your own expertise and research for people who maybe have less time or don't know where to start, that's what a travel planner is. They are helping with someone's trip in the beginning stages versus the final product. It's such a special moment when you show people that you can connect them with places they never dreamed of being able to get to, or always dreamed of, but never thought they'd actually get there. When you show them, it doesn't have to be as expensive as they thought it would be or as complex. You actually get people succeeding in their dreams when you're on a video call with them, and they get so excited to realize that it is possible to go to Antarctica or to go to Australia or wherever it might be for that particular person. You really are helping people's dreams come true, and that's really fun. Itinerary planning is definitely something that other people can offer. Whether you're a blogger or an agent, it's super easy to get started. Anyone can do it. It's definitely not something that you need a following for, which is so great. You absolutely do not need a social media presence, which I personally love. It's something that you can do right with your blog, right when you're getting started. Even if you had under 500 monthly sessions, like less than 500 readers coming to your blog every month, that is something you can use to start selling to people. But if you don't have a blog or a website and you want to make this a business, you absolutely could use social media to get it started. So it's something that you can do if you want to create a business for yourself on your own. You could easily easily set up a website and add a blog to it if you wanted to start ranking some articles on it with SEO and getting people to your site that way. Or if you're someone who already has a following on social media, you could definitely use that as leverage for getting people to come to your business model. The biggest part of my blog has been centered around SEO and finding keywords that would really bring in clients that wanted to book my services. So having a blog, I was able to target keywords like best honeymoon destinations in Europe. And that brought me some wonderful honeymoon clients. So having a blog where you can target specific keywords, you're really opening up the possibilities to targeting your ideal client. Pretty much Google and SEO does a lot of the work for you, and they just bring really warm to hot clients your way. There are some liabilities associated with itinerary planning. What we really want to focus on is not getting started until we really sit down and have a conversation about all of these liabilities and looking at ensuring we have a good disclaimer and contract set up, ensuring that both you and the client knows what's expected of each other and what they're going to receive in return for the services. And then if something like offering the booking service is something you want to do, then sitting down and talking with a lawyer or your accountant about either creating an LLC that covers you or getting outside liability insurance. Before you get started on finding clients or starting a website or a blog or anything like that, thinking about your ideal client, what they look like and what they need, and figuring out where you want to offer your services. If you only want to offer services to Aruba, then your whole package creation and website should be centered around Aruba. Maybe your whole thing is luxury travel to Africa. You're going to completely create your business model around that idea. So before you get started, a great thing that you can do is actually create what we call an avatar for your ideal client. What are their pain points? What do they want? What do they need? Once you know the answers to these questions, you can start creating those packages that you want to offer people. And then you can decide how you want to offer them, whether it be through social media, through a blog or a website, however you want to do it. Once you get all of that set up, then you can start learning the steps that it takes to start attracting people to contact you and what you want your process to look like, what you want your pricing to look like, how long you decide to work with the client, and how far you want to go, whether you want to offer the booking process or not. Correct. Nope. I don't offer the booking process at this time. Right now, I just really enjoy the planning portion of it. That's where it's fun for me, is getting to do the research and finding the itineraries and making people excited just about seeing the possibilities that are out there. In my experience, at least from my audience, I have not seen that at all, because so many people that are coming to my website and blog, they're pretty comfortable with booking things on their own. They know how to book flights or hotels. The problem is they don't have the time to do the research to plan these trips. It goes back to who my avatar was for my original ideal client. They knew how to book trips. They just didn't have the time or the energy to do all the research. So I am fixing that pain point just by making the itinerary for them and then providing them the links that they need to book everything on their own. And it actually saves them a lot of time, because they can have their completed itinerary to them within 2 or 3 days, and then they can book it whenever they're comfortable doing so. I think the biggest tip that I wish I realized more before getting into it was travel planning and offering custom itinerary services is not a passive income. It is definitely something that you need to put time and effort into. A great way to think about it is, if it's something that you were planning on offering or you would really like to offer, take a step back and look at your average work week. Start writing down how many hours you're putting into different parts of your life, whether it be personal, and then maybe at work, maybe you're putting 5 hours a week into email marketing. Maybe you're putting 12 hours a week into writing new blog posts. Get an idea of how much time you're spending where, and then think about where you could take some time back and how many total hours a week you plan on working. So if you only want to work 40 hours a week and right now you're working about 38, think about where you could take back some time and look at, okay, if I can come up with 8 hours a week, is that enough to offer itinerary services? And it absolutely is. Maybe for 1 or 2 clients a week, absolutely. But if you're looking at your work week and you realize you only have maybe 3 to 5 hours a week to work on itineraries, it might not be the best fit for you at this time, but it's definitely something you can look at for the future. Yes, so it's actually called Travel Planning 101 and it launches May 1st, which is very exciting. Can't believe I get to finally say those words. It's been a long time in the making, but it's been designed to not only include everything that someone might need to start offering custom itinerary services on their own, whether it's to their readers or on their own website, but also for travel agents who might need just a little bit more guidance or assistance in the travel planning process. Maybe they're just starting out and they would like a helping hand on how to create a cost and time efficient trip. It covers that as well. To also just kind of the DIY home trip planner, whether it's a parent trying to plan a trip for their kids or a couple trying to create their own honeymoon itinerary. It covers everything, no matter where you're coming from and why you're trying to learn how to plan trips in an efficient way. There's also a ton of bonus modules, including the world of miles and points, learning how to vet tours and agencies overseas, vetting hotels before you've ever stepped foot in the country. Everything from my own personal experiences I've included as well. Absolutely. I actually have a whole module with several lessons named How to Turn a Reader into a Client and exactly how to get those readers in the first place, including what keywords you should be targeting, how and when you should be posting these blog posts across your site, where you should be embedding inquiry forms and setting up landing pages, and exactly how you're going to get the reader's attention to contact you in the first place. So that way you have a step-by-step process. I also include things like, after you do get the client, things like how to create a professional itinerary using Canva Pro. That way, from start to finish, working with the client, you know exactly what to do. People can learn about me on either of my websites, emilyembarks.com or seatosummit.alaska.com. Those are my two main websites. You can learn a lot about me and my husband there and our travels around North America and Europe primarily. Or you can also reach out to me at contact@emilyembarks.com. That's my main email.
A huge thank you to Emily for sharing her tips with us today. And if you'd like to learn more about Emily's course on how to make money with a travel itinerary planning business, I'll leave the link in the description below, and I'll see you in the next video.